Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we are taking a look at a brand new 2018 figure from Vitae, and as you can see right in front of you, it is their Sinraptor. I believe this figure is in 1/35th scale, and it's actually a pretty nice figure. I was looking forward to this one for quite a little while now, and I just recently received this along with 3 other of the new Vitae releases, and I have their 5th new release on its way to me as well. So I'll have all of the reviews of those guys up throughout the week and maybe into early next week, I'm not sure. But either way, they're going to be all up here on the channel for you guys to see. So anyway, speaking of this figure, like I said, this is their Sinraptor. It has an articulated jaw, and it is very nice at first appearance, first glance. You can see it's very nice, very striking, very nice dark coloration to it. And it's an overall really a pretty nice looking figure. But let's get a closer look and we'll see if it's just as nice up close. Taking a look up here at the head, you can see that the head sculpt is actually quite nice. Definitely some very nice significant detail. Nicely sculpted palate there. The eye is a plain black color, but it has like a white little pupil there. So there is a little bit of difference in coloration of the eye. Has some gloss over it as well. You can see the teeth are nicely sculpted inside the mouth. They're colored pretty nicely too. They're a little blended together on the bottom, but that's nothing terrible. The inside of the mouth is also a very realistic, nice coloration. Has a nice gloss to it. Beautiful detail you can see there on the top of the mouth. Very nice sculpt work inside the mouth. Tongue is laying flat, which is actually a kind of a breath of fresh air as far as dinosaur figures go, because almost all the time with companies that make dinosaurs that have articulated jaws, or just in general an open jaw, when you open the mouth, the tongue is normally sticking up somewhere or just in an unnatural position, but this is kind of, I think, what you would get if a dinosaur had opened its mouth. He's not always going to be waving his tongue around, so that was a nice touch on Vitae's part, and like I said, beautiful gloss put inside there, and the detail is just really quite nice. So the articulated jaw on the inside looks very good. Coloration all over looks beautiful. You can see some little black stripes that run the upper part of the head right there. I can't really see nostrils. I think I can kind of make nostrils out, but they're not very significant. But you can see that the head sculpt is pretty nice on both sides, so nicely done there. I did notice one downside to the articulated jaw is right here in this general area. You can see the pink of the mouth, and even if I close the jaw, you can still see the pink of the mouth. There, you can really see it there. The pink does stick out. That may be just limited to my figure. That might have just been the way the paint was applied on mine. I don't know if that's how they are on all of them. And it's not terribly distracting, but it is a little bit of a downside to this figure. Coming down along the neck, you see the sculpt work is pretty nice. The sculpt work of this guy kind of reminds me of the sculpt work on Vitae's Majungasaurus. See, the upper part of the back looks very nice. These little spikes that run along the back here. I'm not really sure what you call those, but they look pretty good. I like that there's a little separation right there, just to give them a little bit of realism, as they wouldn't look perfect, I'm sure. Coming down into the arms, the sculpt work is pretty nice. You don't see too much in the way of muscle tone, but again, it has that very strange sculpt, like the strange texture to it, which doesn't really allow you to see too much in the way of muscle tone, but it looks pretty good. Nicely sculpted hands, and the claws are painted with a black, just a plain black, I believe, but they look pretty good as well. Nice skin folds here coming back along the stomach, and then you can kind of make out the hip a little bit. Pretty nice muscle tone, nice calf muscles there. Feet are sculpted really nicely, beautiful and bird-like, as they should be. Also has the interior toe there with the claw as well. Coming back into the tail, you can see some very nice skin folds that run the length of the tail all over. Really nice sculpt work on the tail. Mine kind of has like an arched tail right here like this. It's kind of bent. I don't think it's supposed to be that way. Honestly, I think it's probably supposed to be more straight like that. But when it was shipped to me, it was pushed inside of a box and everything was wedged together. So it had the tail bent, and I think it just kind of warped that way. But I'm probably going to try to straighten this out at some point with maybe the hot water, cold water trick or a hairdryer or something. Then looking at the other side, Sculpt work looks very nice on both sides. I really do like it. This back leg looks very good. Nicely sculpted foot here. Love the position that it's in as it's walking. See a little bit of the skin stretching there, but not too much. The tail again, nicely sculpted on the back here of the tail as well. One thing that I really do like about this guy is the paint. I think that the paint is excellent on this. I really think it's just a very beautiful look. It's a very darker appearance, so it would really help the animal if he were out in the wild trying to hunt other animals to blend in into the background of wherever he's hiding. So it's a potentially very realistic color, and I think that it looks very nice. As far as the size goes, if we stretch the tail out to where it's probably supposed to be, to the head, you're looking at about 8.5 inches long, and height-wise, about a little under 3.25 inches, or almost 9 centimeters. And now I knocked him over. And actually, speaking of knocking him over, before I even get into my size comparison, you'll notice here that I'm having him on his little plastic stand. This came with the figure, which is a plus because the figure honestly does not balance super well. As you can see, the feet are definitely pretty small, and that's, you know, how it should be on this animal. The feet are probably proportioned quite well to the size of the animal, but most of Vitae's figures have always had a base, and these ones are the first ones that don't have a base, which I actually appreciate them not having a base, although I do love bases, because it has made the price go down drastically in these figures compared to previous releases. This guy here, he's only about $18, $19, somewhere in that range, so that is a huge drop in price from other Vitae figures, especially the Majungasaurus, which was about $100, and this guy here is, like I said, about $20 in that range. I'll put a link in the description to a Aliexpress seller that is selling these guys, and you can get them for about that price. But like I said, he doesn't balance super well, and considering my reviewing area is a little off level, I did want to just keep him on here just so he can balance out pretty well. Now when I do have him on a level surface, a perfectly level surface, he does balance, but if you bump into him or into the table or desk or whatever you put him on, he will fall over. So keeping these little plastic pieces is probably a plus and probably a good decision for display purposes if you do want to display him. And it really does not look that bad at all. With them being clear, you almost don't really even notice it, and I think it makes him look very nice posed on there. Now, as I said, for a size comparison, here's Mr. Papo T-Rex, and you can see that he is significantly larger than this Sinraptor, but that's just the way it goes. But like I said, the Sinraptor is very nicely sized. It is not a small figure. I mean, he's pretty small for Vitae. It might be the smallest one I've put on the channel so far, but he's still a very nice size. So in my opinion, this Vitae Sinraptor is an absolutely beautiful release. It is a very nice looking figure. The sculpt work is pretty nicely done. The paint job is really nicely done, but overall I feel like the look of it is very natural, very potentially realistic. I really like the way they've done this. I'm very excited for the future of Vitae and the way that they're going with their figures, because as you can see, we are now getting figures that are of a much cheaper price, which is a great thing because the Vitae Giganotosaurus was about $100. Their limited edition was like $140. Then they had the Sinoceratops and the Majungasaurus, which were both around the $100 range again. And now you finally have this guy, which is only around $20. And like I said, he's a lot smaller than the Giganotosaurus, but he's not too much smaller than the Majungasaurus, and that guy was still quite a bit more expensive because he had a base. But these newer ones without the bases are really beautiful still, and they look just as nice posed on these little plastic display pieces as they are on those bases, and I really like them being a lot more affordable. Like I said, I do have a seller that I purchased this guy from Aliexpress. I know there are a lot of people selling this on eBay, but their prices are significantly higher than they should be, and they're just kind of trying to make a buck or two off of you guys by jacking the price up a little bit. So I will link you guys in the description to the Aliexpress seller that I purchased this guy from, and you can grab him on there because he is about $10 cheaper than you'll probably find anywhere else. So go ahead, click that description if you want to buy this guy. Check him out because this Vitae figure is quite awesome. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.